Cool. All right, got it. Yo, what's up, my peeps? We are back again with the Live Love Live podcast. I'm your host, Marcus, the owner of Aion Training, here with my co-host, Sean. Hello, Sean.
How you doing, man?
And today, the idea for today came after a call we did recently with a person that was looking into joining a fitness studio,
Yeah.
and what they said kind of resonated with me, which was, I know this is important, but I just don't know if I'm motivated enough to start now.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time that we hear that. But it's hard to hear, right? Because here at the studio, the whole thing around this is getting you to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so today we just kind of want to jump into like the myth of motivation,
Yeah.
because I think this is something I also fell into.
Definitely.
Even to the point where I would create situations or pressure that wasn't needed
Yeah.
to get motivated, but what I was really getting was stress. So today we want to kind of talk about like the why you don't need to be motivated to get started.
Yeah.
And what's like one of the key crucial mindsets, just show up, that kind of has carried a lot of our members through the ups and downs of motivation.
Yeah.
So you can get closer to the thing that you want without motivation having to be there. Um, so Sean, I guess for you, like, where do you kind of see this show up the most for people?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. It's a great thing to think about, and I think everybody struggles with it. I struggle with it. I know you've struggled with it. I think anybody who's done anything related to fitness has struggled with this in the past. The day comes, the workout scheduled, and you're like, oh man, I do not have the gas to do this right now. And I think, two things that I've found works really well with our clients, works personally for me too, is first of all, finding a modality like strength training, plug there, that gives you a very objective view of your body and where it's at. What do I mean by that? I mean this. I think so much of our lives is lived in the subjectivity of thinking, I feel this way, so I am this way. And we know that that's, kind of BS to be short. And what I love about strength training and what I've seen working with clients here is I'll have somebody who comes in and be like, man, I feel so tired today. I'm so stressed out. I don't feel good at all. And it's just like, okay, like let's meet that feeling where it's at. You did the best thing, which is just show up anyway, sit in the seat. We get into the flow of the day, and all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, it's like, hey, I just hit a PR on my lift.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought you were the most tired, stressed out you've ever been in your life. So let's not replicate that every day to hit PRs. But at the same time, like what you were feeling was not aligned with what the reality of your body state was. So I think that's the first thing is just, finding, a space where, again, you can get an objective view of what your true potential is for that day, for that week, for that month, whatever that may be. And then also, coming in, just meeting that base requirement of just showing up. Because there's been days when I show up and the workout sucks and I'm tired and I get through it and I'm like, you know what? At least I got it done. And sometimes that's even better than hitting a PR. Sometimes that feeling, I don't know if you've had that, like,
100%.
When I get done with an hour session,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I got that done. And then the rest of my day is so set in a productive, successful mindset because I'm like, the thing that I was dreading the most, I showed up for, it wasn't perfect. That's okay. And now everything else seems kind of, smaller in comparison.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big thing. And the reason that we're talking about this is because if you don't show up because you're worried about like the feelings or, oh my God, I'm not motivated enough, you never give yourself the opportunity to be wrong.
Yep.
Right? And what I mean by that is if you don't step through the door, you may very well, and we've had members do this where they show up to a workout, they try it for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know what, I'm actually not feeling that well today, but I'm happy I came.
Yeah.
And we've also had the situation where members are like, I really don't want to be here, and they'll point to the big red sign that says just show up.
Yeah.
And then they finish the session and they go, you know what, I'm really proud of myself for being here.
Yeah.
Both of those options, you don't get the chance if you don't ever show up. So the big thing that I want everyone to kind of like think about too is that motivation, what is motivation? What motivates you? What goes into that? There's fear that goes into you not feeling motivated. Oh, I don't want to be embarrassed, so I don't have motivation to do it, right? So the big thing that we teach our members here is to give yourself the opportunity to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Show up for the thing, whether you really want to or not, because think about what you really want. You
Yeah.
want to be healthier. You want to be here for the people that matter. You want to keep your independence as you age.
Yeah.
You want to feel good when you're on stage or when you're at work or when you're in your clothes, whatever else it may be. And so these things, they don't really care too much about your motivation.
Yeah.
Right? So just show up. Just show up and give yourself that opportunity to go, hey, I showed up. I'm actually not feeling it. I'm out. All right, see you next time.
Yeah.
Hey, I showed up. I wasn't feeling it, and I'm really proud of myself. Those are the only two options that could come out of it.
Yeah.
The only two.
Yeah. And I think a good piece in all of that, kind of that connects the ideas rather that Marcus is talking about is, motivation. Again, you can get very kind of inward on like, I can't motivate myself, so therefore I don't have motivation. And I think, again, with our community and our clients, what they find is, hey, if I can show up to a space that is motivating, maybe I don't need to have, stupid David Goggins level of hard, I'm going to kill this, right? Like, don't be afraid to lean on, people in your life for motivation. I think for us at the studio, I can see the dramatic difference of somebody who, does the zombie walk, shuffle through the door with a coffee cup in the hand, and then their buddy is like, hey, it's so good to see you, good morning. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, 10% motivation has come back.
Man.
And then they say a joke about their kid or talk about something that's happened, and now we're at 30% motivation. And before you know, it's like, man, I'm motivated as hell right now.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. I'm really glad you brought that up because, if you're not feeling motivated right now, think about what are the habits and the actions of the people that are around you right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a lot of factors that go into motivation, but that is definitely a big one. And I think that's one of the things that you get here at this studio is that you are around 120 plus other people that are in your similar situation that have motivation. And when you mix all the levels, at the end of the day, you're like, wow, I just stepped into this space and the energy and the motivation. And if we're being real, just being in a place where everyone is working on themselves and taking care of themselves has tremendous benefits, both inside of your workout, but also outside of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a big piece. I'm really glad you brought that up because,
of course,
there is no problem with you showing up and going, hey, I'm not motivated, but I showed up, and all of a sudden, man, I'm over here with my buddy Sean, and we're joking, we're doing our curls back and forth, and I'm having a great time. Oh wow, I did the action, and now I'm more motivated to do it again. Wow.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with a new client who's coming in who's like, I have such a bad relationship with habit, and I have such a bad relationship with motivating myself. And then I, go further into the question. It's like, well, where are you working out right now? Well, I'm at, this big box gym. Who are you working out with? Nobody, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so when you go in, what do you do? I just kind of like scroll through my phone and I'm by myself. I don't talk to anybody. And I just have this moment in my head where I know in 2-3 months, they'll have been here multiple times, maybe more than they've ever worked out in their life.
Yeah.
And it's really that moment of, hey, it's not a motivation problem. It's a setting, situation, environment problem, right? Because we're social creatures. And again, motivation is, gained, and it's a lend-lease. I give motivation to you, you give motivation to me. And that's a more sustainable way than just forcing yourself every time to like strap the bootstraps on, be like, all right, I got to do this. I got to be the only one I'm accountable to. Like, it's just not a sustainable situation.
Yeah, and I think that's why there's a lot of power in like having an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be some standard thing. It could just be a friend where you text them and you go, did you do your workout today, or did you do this? Because what we say here a lot is stronger together.
Yeah.
And that really is the reason that we don't do too many one-on-one personal training sessions.
Nope.
Because, I know that the accountability that you get from me and the coaches is very helpful.
Yeah.
Very, very helpful. But the thing that we've seen over and over and over makes the biggest difference is you being in the community and being around these people that are all taking care of themselves. So if you're in the area, you're looking for a space, sure. But even if you're not, look at, hey, can I join an online like fitness group on Facebook?
Yep.
Can I join like a Strava group where I'm working with those people? Can I find a few buddies, and then maybe only if it's once a month, maybe it's once a month you go with a couple buddies to the park.
Yeah.
And even that has such a big piece on it. But the biggest thing that you need to do with all of that is you have to look at, okay, there's this thing I want to do. I want to improve my health. Okay, where's my motivation at it?
Yeah.
And that's okay. We can look at our motivation. We can look at that, but go, this is what I want. I don't want to be motivated.
Yeah.
I want to be healthier.
Yeah.
And then just go, okay, cool. What is the easiest way for me to get there?
Right.
It's joining a community. It's finding an accountability coach and a coach in that. And then it's going, hey, I am going to show up and I might be there for 5 minutes and I might be there for an hour, but I'm going to go. And I think that is if we really want to have these things at the top that you tell us as coaches you do, and I know at a deep root you do, there's just things that are getting in the way. It's really those three things. Find a group, find accountability as a coach, have somebody kind of tell you to do it as well. Yeah. And then just really say, hey, I'm not going to be perfect. That's an unrealistic standard. That is pre-self-sabotage.
Totally.
I'm just going to show up. Yeah. And take that pressure off yourself. And I think a really good gauge too is to go, on a day where you may not want to work out, say, okay, I don't have to work out today. What decision do I want to make? Because I've done this, and I will say, some days I have just gone, you know what? And I kind of working out is more part of my life now. So this is a little bit easier decision. And I want to make that clear that depending on where you are in your journey, it may or may not be helpful for you to walk through this discourse. Yeah. But for myself now, it's, what do I want to do? Once I take away the obligation and the I have to do it, I can go, do I want to work out or not? And a lot of times you'll go, yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do want to work out. Yeah. And then other days you'll go, hey, I don't want to go today. I'm not feeling well. And you have to have grace with yourself in that process as well. Just show up does not mean just show up 100% of the time, even if I am feeling horrible. Right. It's, hey, I'm going to try my best to show up for this thing, no matter how I feel, to the best of my ability. Very long thing. Nobody would like that as a slogan. That would be real whack. Yeah. So we keep it a little shorter. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. Long sleeve all the way down. Yeah. But yeah, I guess any final pieces you have on there?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I really liked what you said about giving yourself options, right? And I think for our members at Aion, it's really the option of, okay, do I want to go work out? Maybe the answer is no. Do I want to go see a friend? Maybe the answer is yes. And then that gets you here, And once you're here, then the option is, okay, do I want to push myself? And again, for us, we always give you the freedom of that choice, I might push you sometimes because I know what you're capable of, but you have a set of people that you trust again. And so the answer just continually, is yes or no, yes or no. And then at the end of that, it's like, okay, I've gotten myself now to a place where I did the thing that Marcus talked about. I showed up. I'm a better person for it. Did I have the motivation? No. But did I do it? Yes. And I think that's a lot of life, right?
Yeah.
You're not always going to be in the perfect situation to do things exactly like you want to. And if you are waiting for those opportunities, then you're not really looking at the idea of being healthier overall. You're looking at being healthy within a specific set of circumstances that you're comfortable with. And we all know that's not where you get healthier.
Yeah. And then I will say the other thing is, a lot of times if you're waiting for the perfect moment or to feel motivated, you're pushing off when you can actually get to the feeling you really want.
Right.
And once again, we always try to be reasonable. We always try to give you both sides of things just so you can come to your own choice. Yeah. But the other thing is, a lot of people that push off their motivation and they're, oh my God, it's not perfect, or, oh, I need to get in shape first before I do this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes it may be like, hey, I have a health scare, I have something like that. And that's not the motivation that we really like.
No.
It's the reality. It's, a thing that gets a good amount of people to start. But the motivation I want you all to have is to go, hey, I want to do this thing. This is what I really want for my life. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing it.
I'm not being forced by a,
exactly.
Test result.
Yeah. Out of fear, out of sadness, out of pain, So that's what I wish for you all. And that was really the thing that hurt to hear on that call. So if you're listening right now, just pause. Pause right here. If you don't pause, I'll know. Trust me. But yeah, just pause right here and go, what do I want? Do I want to be motivated, or do I want XYZ out of my health, out of my life, out of whatever? Yeah. And then slowly work on just showing up and finding the easiest ways possible to get there. All right, my peeps. Well, that's all for today. Another great episode. I hope you all have a great week. And yeah, we're out.
All right. Ooh, explosion.
Everything blew up.